Good morning, winners. Welcome to Terry's Tips. Happy Thursday. So it has been like a super eye-opening week for me. Yeah, I've had an eye-opening week, like a bunch of positive things, absolutely, and a bunch of revelations. And guys, we are on assignment. Like, if you are somebody that follows my channel, that means that you have a mission, you have goals, you have vision, you have purpose. You are trying to get things done. And so that's one reason why I'm actually picked the topic for today's video: how you can leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act to improve your credit. Guys, that's what we're going to talk about today. That's the topic. And the reason why I'm kind of going back there is because so many of you guys are now kind of on fire. You want to do business credit, you want the bigger loans, you want to start your businesses, you want to be real estate investors, but one of the biggest barriers is still your personal credit. You guys still have things that you need to kind of clean up. And so what is that? That's the foundation, guys. The foundation. You cannot build your empire on a shaky foundation. Look, that's a word for somebody. That's a word. You cannot build your empire on a shaky foundation. So I'm going to take it back. We're going to talk about cleaning up your personal credit the right way that you can have that good, strong foundation for longevity. What are we talking about? We're talking about breaking generational cycles of poverty. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about wealth building. We're talking about transitioning into being business owners, investors. We're talking about building our dreams and goals. And we're talking about leading by example and then showing our kids, our sisters, our brothers, our nieces and nephews, our neighbors, our everybody how to do the same thing. And we're talking about impacting our community. So we have to do it the right way, guys. But there's 1,000%. There's tools out there, there's resources out there, there's laws out there that you guys can leverage. And so many of you guys reaching out to me and you're using these credit specialists and you're watching these videos and you're reading all these articles about disputes, and you're getting things deleted or sometimes getting things deleted and then trying to qualify for the bigger money and still getting denied and don't understand why and don't even understand the dispute process, how to get things removed, why things get removed, why things don't get removed. Like, it's a complete mess. So in today's video, let's straighten it out and I'm going to help you, okay? And so who am I? And guys, listen, I know, like, if you follow me, you know who I am and you know what I do and you know my purpose and my vision. But every single week there's somebody new. And guys, sometimes I fluff over this because I have so much information to share, but it's something in my spirit. Like, I need you to get this. Like, you know, I had some really big, just real quick, I had some really big unexpected blessings happen like all this week. Unexpected. And I wasn't even going to share all this with you guys today, and I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but you guys may be like, lady, it's credit repair. Like, it's not that serious. It's not, guys. I am not passionate about quote unquote credit repair. There are people out there like me who don't have mommy and daddy and don't have a trust fund and don't have people giving them money and don't have people showing them, that don't have privilege, that are from the ghetto and they are the very first in their family to own a property and the first in their family to be a multimillionaire and the first in their family to be a business owner and the first in their family to be an investor. And looking good on paper and learning how to leverage this is sometimes it's like the only way that they can kind of get started. That is their key to a new lifestyle. Guys, I remember getting clothes at the Goodwill for my son. I remember, I'm not sure if you guys know what Coinstar is? I'm trying not to cry and I wasn't going to share this, but I just have to real quick because I need you to understand what we're doing here. When I say leverage your credit to build wealth, when I say look good on paper, guys, it has changed my life. I'm living a life I never imagined. And it all started with me learning a skill and leveraging it and putting it into things that were income producing. I want you to get that. I remember putting change in a jar every single day, and then there becoming a time that I was so broke I was so broke, guys, that I had to put that money into a Coinstar machine to get gas and groceries for my son. Like to start from there and to be where I am right now, to be in foster care, to have both my parents in addiction, to be, in group homes, to be a teen mom, and to now be somebody who retired myself from corporate America before the age of 40, to have a business, to have multiple properties, to have bought my very first house at the age of 21. Are you hearing me? Like, I need you guys to stop thinking that there's like a magic pill, a quick fix. There's no quick fix to this, but I'm going to help you. I started my channel to help you because if I can do it, you can too. But for the big money, for the wealth building. I'm not talking about just getting a credit card. I'm not talking about going on vacation. I'm not talking about purses and shoes. Listen, I'm not impressed by shoes, by cars, by things, by going on vacation. I'm impressed when you show me the apartment building you just bought. I'm impressed when your son and daughter graduate from high school and you cut them a check for their high school, for their college tuition. Did you hear me? I want you to get in your spirit that if we can get this right, it can change everything for you. And I don't mean to be in my soapbox. And if you tuned out because I'm talking too much before I get in my topic, then I'm okay with that because I'm talking to somebody out there and somebody really needs to hear this because that's the kind of week I had this week. Like it really where God really just sat me down and showed me what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and who I really need to be talking to. And I would say a good 90% of the people that I talk to have student loan debt, right? So if you get this, if you're one of my Make Real Estate Real people, and even if you're not, we talk about having a purpose for every property. How empowering would it be that if you do the work right now, and then when your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your niece or your nephew, whoever, somebody in the church, that when their young person graduates from high school, instead of you just giving them a card or giving them a graduation party or whatever, that you were able to say, your college tuition is paid for. I'm going through student loan debt, but now I've put in the work. Now you have a free ride because I'm paying for it. Like how would that impact your life? Like you don't understand that we can change lives, and we're in the middle of in 2020, we're in the middle of a movement. What you're doing right now is going to impact the masses, impact the generations coming behind us. So when I'm sharing this information today about leveraging the Fair Credit Reporting Act to improve your credit, I'm also talking about doing things the right way if you know things are valid negative debts, so that we can have a strong foundation so we can build wealth long term. Amen. I'm sorry I had to share that, okay? Because, this week. So, who am I? My name is Terry. I am a self-employed entrepreneur. I am a single mother of 3, and I own a consulting firm that focuses on, business credit, personal credit, financial literacy, real estate investing, heavily on real estate investing. And I started my channel to educate and empower you and to give you guys good, solid information because there's a lot of watered down, inaccurate information out there, okay? And I would love for you to be, a subscriber, like, share, comment. I know I was on my soapbox today, but I just had to get it out, and I could go on and on, but I'll jump into the topic because that's what you guys came here for, right? So how to leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act to actually help improve your credit. So first, before I jump in, there's a couple of things I want you guys to remember as I'm sharing this information. So number 1, when you're disputing things and you're using the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if you're doing it for real estate investing, always remember it's a little bit more of a tedious process because everything has to be done on all 3 bureaus. Write that down, guys, because so many of you guys are kind of following, these people that are talking about disputes and hiring these companies and listening to these articles, and you can do a couple of quick tweaks for a car, for a credit card, for a personal loan. But it's a whole different ball game when it comes to the bigger money. It's a whole different ball game when it comes to transitioning into business credit. Honestly, I want you guys to have a personal goal of having a credit score of a 680 or above on all 3 bureaus. That way you qualify for business credit, for conventional, for commercial loans, for FHA, for 203K construction, whatever it is that you need to help you build your empire and leverage. Then eventually you have your great big empire and credit won't play as much of a key. But right now, if you don't just have $100,000 sitting in the bank account to invest, you need to leverage your credit to build wealth. So understand, one reason why I talk about doing things the right way is because if you kind of do some letters and you get something deleted from one bureau, great. But if you're doing real estate investing, it has to be removed from all three, right? Because they always pull all three. So it's going to be more of a tedious process, because if you only get it deleted from one bureau or only get it deleted from two bureaus, the lender is going to still see it. It has to be deleted from all three. The second thing I want you guys to keep in mind when I'm sharing this information is that your file has to pass underwriting. So one reason why people end up hiring me, because they use other services for a year, for 2 years, they're paying $100 a month, right? That's $1,200, $2,400. Then they don't qualify and they have to come back and hire somebody like me to do it the right way anyway. You've wasted time, you wasted money, and now you have to come back and do it the right way anyway. You might as well have just done it the right way to begin with, because guess what? If you don't know what an underwriter is, baby, okay? Their sole job is to make sure that everything is done properly before the bank gives you the money. 100,000, 500,000, a million, 2 million. Before they give you the big money, your file has to pass underwriting. So that's why some of these little, tricks and little things, just little gimmicks that you kind of get from some of these other non-credible resources don't always work for the bigger money, okay? Underwriting. Your file must pass underwriting for real estate financing and also for a lot of the bigger money. Another thing is that, guys, remember that credit repair is proactive. So let me explain. Write this down. I want you to remember this. Proactive, reactive. So credit repair is reactive, meaning there's information on your credit report and you are trying to get it off or get it updated. You're trying to get it removed or at least updated, right? So it's reactive. Something has already occurred and you're trying to get it off. But during the credit repair process, guys, I need you to be proactive, meaning you can't have new negative debts. You can't have new late payments. If a collection comes to you, it's a valid negative debt, pay it. It is the worst feeling to be working on your credit. Say you're 5 months in and you're up to a 650 credit score, and then all of a sudden a brand new collection gets on your reports and you drop down to a 550. That is the worst, and it has happened to a ton of my clients. So while we're working on your file or while you're working on your file, be proactive. If negative bills are coming in, they're valid, pick up the phone and make a payment arrangement. Your sole goal is to make sure that no new negative debts hit your credit report. Because remember what I have said in the previous videos, that the date of delinquency matters. I don't care if that collection is $5, $20, or $5,000. It's the date, a brand new collection hitting your report that is going to tank your credit score, okay? So remember, you need to be proactive while you're working on your credit reports, okay? Another thing to remember, especially for real estate investing, is that for judgments and liens and things of that nature. So if I get something deleted, if you follow the tips I'm going to give you and you get something deleted, that does not mean you don't owe the debt. I didn't know that I had to say that. I thought you guys knew that if you went to Raymore and Flanagan and you got $5,000 worth of furniture and you did not pay it, and then through the dispute process, we got it deleted from your credit report. I thought that you guys knew that. You know that you got that furniture and you knew that you didn't pay them, but you guys thought that it just wiped it away because we got it deleted. No. When we get something deleted, if you get something deleted, if I get something deleted, if somebody gets something deleted, it means that it can no longer be reported on your credit report. That does not mean you don't owe the debt. So this is why when I'm talking to you guys one-on-one and look, I wish you guys were in person. I said, if you've had a strategy session with me, raise your hand, right? I am in good business ethics. I will say, if you owe this, do this. If you don't owe this, do this. And this company is sue happy and this company, they may do a judgment. I've been doing this so long. I know the creditors. I know their trends. I know what companies will sue you. I know what companies won't. I can look at the accounts and tell you which ones will be deleted. Like, there is something to be said for working with an expert. And I used to work for TransUnion, guys. I'm not somebody that this is just something brand new for me. I've seen it on the other end. That's why my language to you is different. That's why I'm able to explain things in a different way. That's why I'm committed to doing things ethical and giving you the right information so that you can really get to your goal. And so just know that sometimes if we get something deleted, let's say, especially guys, remember for utilities is a big one, and for like credit unions, a lot of times like those things can sometimes still escalate to a judgment. So if you're doing real estate financing, even if we get it off your credit report, just make sure if you get any kind of court documents or something's out there lingering, you still take care of it, because that can still kill the deal later on when you're doing like a title search for you. Okay? And so let's jump right in. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act, write that down. So you, the consumer, you have rights. So when all these people are talking about, one last thing I wanted to add. I'm so sorry, guys. I get people to come to me all the time and they're like, well, I got things deleted, and I hired this person, they got this deleted, and I hired this person, they got this deleted, and I got things deleted. I want you to hear me very closely. Come here. Just because you get things deleted, that doesn't mean you qualify for a mortgage pre-approval. Guys, more goes into a mortgage pre-approval. That's one reason why I'm like, well, what about your debt to income ratio? What about your verifiable income? Have you been establishing positive payment history? So sometimes they just delete some items, then you go and apply for credit and you have no credit at all, and then you're denied because you have no credit at all. Everything has been wiped away. Like, this is why sometimes when I'm working on your files, right away, I'll say, I need you to add this, and I need you to add this. I need you to rebuild this while you're working on this, so that we can actually have a strategic plan to get to your goal. A strategic plan to get to your goal. So just know that real, true credit repair, credit consulting is more than just getting items deleted, especially for real estate financing, especially for business loans, especially for commercial loans, especially for 203K loans, especially for conventional loans, especially for all of those kinds of bigger money, okay? Got it good? All right, so Fair Credit Reporting Act. So it is a law put in place to protect you guys, the consumers. So literally, like I said, I used to work for TransUnion. The credit is a database of information. This is something I don't think that you guys understand. So TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. It's a database of information. Guys, it genuinely gets mixed up. It genuinely gets corrupt. We would see like sometimes juniors and seniors, people with very common last names or common names, Smith, Williams, Jones, Rodriguez, Lopez, even like twins where they have like the same date of birth. The social sometimes are like one digit off and like the same name, where sometimes like credit information would generally get mixed up. And so what happened is the Fair Credit Reporting Act was put in place to protect you guys, meaning that sometimes information was reported on the wrong credit file, so it gave you rights to dispute things and then kind of get it fixed, right? But then what has happened in more recent years is that, so many people caught wind of the fact that sometimes you can dispute things, and sometimes things that may actually be yours can come off too if they can't be verified. So that's where disputing things can honestly, yes, 1,000%. It is your right to dispute anything under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It is your right. Anything that you think is inaccurate, unfair, incomplete, unverifiable. 1,000%. And when I talk to you guys, yes, still start with the dispute process and dispute things, but just know this is where the education comes in. If something is a valid negative debt, you're probably starting with a 50-50 chance, especially for real estate financing, because getting something deleted from all three bureaus as a valid negative debt is a little bit more work, okay? Especially if it's recent, especially depending on the kind of lender it is, especially on how much it is, okay? And then what happens is that you can write in disputes, and if the company doesn't respond, if they don't verify the information, if they don't kind of meet the level of liability, 1,000%, the credit bureau will remove the information. Sometimes they update the information. Sometimes they validate the information. Yes, use and exercise your rights. But I don't want you to think that there is one magic letter that wipes away all bad debt. if that was true, everybody would have perfect credit, and that person who had that magic letter would be a billionaire. Okay. And so this is why, like a lot of these credit repair places, in the small fine print, it says, we remove bankruptcies, charge-offs, repos, late payments, collections that are inaccurate and unfair and can't be verified. Real small. Like, that's what they're saying to you guys. So that's why I say, like, we go through and I say, dispute this, pay this, settle this, don't dispute this one, keep this one on. We actually put together a plan whether items are removed or whether they're not removed. Because remember, you don't need your credit. Look, secret. You don't need your credit to be absolutely perfect to qualify for a mortgage pre-approval. So again, in strategy, you're just getting your credit good enough to qualify for the financing that you need, period. And then you qualify for that financing. And then once you get that item and you pay that on time, your scores are going to be even higher. Okay. And so the Fair Credit Reporting Act, write in your letters, do your disputes, but don't pay somebody $100 a month for a year and 2 years and you know it's a valid negative debt anyway. You only had a 50-50 chance. Another thing that you guys are missing is disputing things with the company directly. So you guys are getting like collection letters and you guys are just ignoring them. There's verbiage in those letters that say, if you don't think this is a valid debt, let us know. Respond within 30 days. Sometimes you guys need to buy yourself some time. Like, dispute it with the creditor too. That's another tip to getting things removed, that you guys are just disputing it with the credit bureaus. But if you really want to be super aggressive, you can set debt validation letters and dispute letters to the creditors as well, especially for these collection agencies. And especially when you first get the debt before it hits your report, if you don't think it's valid, if you don't agree with it, dispute it with them first too, okay? That is part of your rights. And let me just kind of jump into like this 609 letter. So I see all these videos, 609, 609. Guys, like literally, like even if you go on like Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, like the actual credit bureau, even like annualcreditreport.com, the actual credible resource, the bureaus, they actually have, Experian has like a blog, and it literally says there is no evidence that any template letter is more effective than any other. It's actually section 611 that actually gives you the right to dispute, guys. 609 is actually just the part that actually deals with you, the information on your reports and your right to have a copy of your report and a right to have copies of information that validates the items on your file. So I want you to understand something. The credit bureaus know the Fair Credit Reporting Act. We had to be certified in it. You putting a blurb in your actual letter doesn't make it that much more effective than any other dispute. So stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. You're doing much better of a dispute letter when you do a sweep of your personal information, that you're addressing it with the creditors first, and when you're doing a letter from you, the consumer, without using all these dispute letters. Guys, I tell you guys that because of all of these credit repair places, because it's such a kind of fad right now, the bureaus actually have like recognition software that recognizes some of these templates, and they're starting to send you guys letters for a frivolous dispute, meaning they're not even keep on redisputing things because they know it's from a credit repair place and not from you, the consumer. So when I'm saying a sweep of your personal information, really go through your personal information and make sure any name variations, any employment information, any phone numbers, any previous addresses, make sure anything that's inaccurate, outdated for personal information is off of your reports first, and then send in your disputes from you, the consumer, not a template letter. Exercise your rights underneath the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you will have a much better result. Wait for your disputes to come back. 1,000%. You can do a couple of rounds, dispute different things about the account in every single round, and see what you are left with. And then the items you are left with for negative debts, you want them to either be removed or at least be a zero balance. But at least for real estate financing, and you want to be tracking your score, and then you want to make sure you have open available credit. You want to make sure your debt ratios are there, and you want to make sure you have verifiable income. Got it good? So that's how you can leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act on your own, okay? To actually build wealth, repair your credit, to build your legacy. And as always, if you need a strategic plan, reach out to me. I will do a credit jumpstart strategy session. It's a super low amount where I will give you the game plan. I honestly, I'm accepting a very small amount of personal credit clients because what I have learned is that I can repair your credit all day long. But if you don't change the behaviors, if you don't change the habits, so many of you guys get back into the same situation. And then like, honestly, like I've denied people. I've been like, I repaired all your credit, and you went back and got everything all like brand new collections, brand new charge-offs, repoed your car. Like, no, you're not going to lean on me for me to just like give you a magic, a green ticket to just keep on abusing it. And I'm okay with that. Like, that's my brand. I'm trying to instill in you financial literacy, and that your credit is your financial integrity. Your credit is your financial integrity. So if you've made some mistakes, no judgment zone. You didn't know, you really had a financial hardship, but let's clean it up and then let's maintain it and grow it. So the strategy sessions are where I educate you on how to do your credit. And then you can execute the plan without paying somebody $100 a month for a year and 2 years. Keep that $1,200, $2,400 in your pocket and use that for your down payment. Use that for your hard money loan. Use that for your renovations. Use that for your business. Use that for your actual, like for your needs instead of paying somebody else, and do it on your own. Amen. All right, so I hope that information was helpful. I'm sorry I was on my soapbox. I had to get it out and just understand that, guys, I have a testimony. I'm living proof that if you get this right, you really can change everything. And guys, I haven't announced it yet, but like my 23-year-old son, he just started his own business. He's about to get a property. He's 23. Lead by example. Your children, they watch you more than they listen to you. So I want you to ask yourself, like, forget about all of these videos and all these articles. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to look yourself in the mirror. What are your actions telling your kids? I'm going to leave that right there. Have a blessed day.